Hi everyone, I'm back with the Blaberus roaches, with the cave roaches, as I promised in the previous video. Unfortunately, I only have a handful of Blaberus roaches, but I still wanted to show you so you can see the similarities, differences. Their care is pretty straightforward and easy. All of them require a thick layer soil and a high protein diet. This is just, of course, only my experience, and they also appreciate warmer temperatures. In my experience, the smaller species are more prolific than the bigger ones. For the bigger ones, it takes way more time to actually mature and they produce less offspring. Here's a trigger warning. Unfortunately, my last adult Blaberus colosseus died last week. So I'm going to show you, but it's going to be a dead roach. So we are going to see a dead cockroach in this video. What is really important with Blaberus roaches is to always take note where you get those roaches from. Not just, the country of origin, the locality, but also the name of the seller, because sometimes these Blaberus roaches turn out to be something else. They can be misidentified because some of the species look really similar to one another. For me, I'm not a taxonomist. I taught taxonomy, deep taxonomy of flies at the university, but I'm not like a taxonomist who describes different species, so I'm not at that level at all. But there was a paper shared in the cockroach study group a few days ago, and this paper is supposedly shows that Blaberus colosseus that we have in the hobby isn't colosseus but something else. Well, we shouldn't be really quick to change the label on the boxes because there isn't, I think, substantial proof yet, because I haven't seen all the roach experts in the group chime in and saying that yes, this is, yeah, let's go. Have that marker and write another name on your boxes, and until that happens, I'm going to keep the colosseus. That's the same thing with the Therea roaches. I don't know what domino roaches. Yes, domino roaches. So with some domino roaches, it turned out that they are different species, and some people sell them by the old name, other people sell them by their new name, and I happened to buy one with a new name, one with the old name, and they turned out to be the same roach. Of course, I didn't mix them. I'm not making those mistakes again. I'm keeping them in two separate boxes, and I have this information on the boxes, so I will not forget it. But this is extremely important with the Blaberus. Always take note where they are coming from, like originally, which country, which locality, and which seller, which country, because they might turn out to be something different. This is the same thing with my Nocticola, for example. I have two colonies, one Nocticola Malaysia and Nocticola Vienna Zoo. So the second one comes from the Vienna Zoo, but they might be the same as the Nocticola Malaysia. I have no idea. We'll see. When I have a bigger colony, we're going to take a closer look. But until then, I'm just keeping them separate, and I have all this information labeled. This is really important with the Blaberus roaches as well. But enough of the talking, and let's see the roaches. We're going to start off with my death's head roaches. So here are my death's head roaches. Please excuse the substrate. I gave this chunky substrate a try, but these roaches don't like it at all. It works really well with the orange heads, with the Blaberus roaches, but these guys don't like it at all. It's not really practical because I have allergies. I should wear gloves, but never mind. This is a topic for a different video, but I try to keep all of my enclosures like semi-bioactive, meaning that I have a good substrate with some cleaning crew in it that will eat the roach poop so it doesn't get out in the air. But I had a bunch of this substrate and wanted to see how it works. It doesn't. So I 100% don't recommend with death's head roaches. But I wanted to show you something interesting, which is quite puzzling for me with these roaches. When I first got them and they started to mature, I noticed the difference between the males and the females. So here's a male with the lighter brown wings. There you go. And here's one individual with darker wings. And it turned out that all of the individuals in my colony are like this. The females have darker wings And the males are of course smaller, as in with all Blaberus, but they have lighter wings. And again, here's a female, and here's a male, side by side. Let me just catch one of them. Yeah. So here you can see the difference. And they are from the same strain. I didn't mix anything up this time. And they come from the same seller, the same place, and all of them are like this. All of the females have dark wings. Like this one, for example, freshly molted female. She's quite soft and afraid of me. And all of the males have these lighter brown colorations on their wings. So I really don't know if it's normal for this species. Here's a nymph if you want to take a look at it. They are really, really pretty. And what is also noticeable, and as I mentioned, they are different from the death's head roaches in the US, is that they don't have any of the death's head marking on their pronotum, so you don't see anything. Few of them have really faint markings like this. This is the freshly molted female I found previously. You can see like 2 light brown dots there, but nothing resembling a skull or anything that you would see in the US colonies. When I started keeping roaches, maybe 17, 18 years ago, roaches that look like this were sold as Blaberus fusca. And, you know, just one time I go to the store and they are sold as feeder insects, as Blaberus fusca. The next time I go to the store, they are sold as Blaberus chronifer. So they basically changed the name, but the roaches are kept the same. So this can be just a different strain. It might be that they are very different from the US strains because they are kept in Europe and those are kept in the US, separate from one another for many, many generations. I really don't know. All I know is that we had roaches sold as Blaberus fusca, and now we don't have fusca but have these guys. I don't know if you have any information on this, please let me know. We have in Europe the Blaberus chronifer blackwing strain, which I don't have. Wings of those guys are totally black. that's the only difference. They are really, really nice roaches. I really like them, especially the darker ones. So I'm going to buy the dark wings as well. And I really hope I can buy this species from a different seller as well, so I can compare them and see the difference. But they were one of my first roaches when I first started keeping roaches, and they are really, really fascinating and fun. Okay, the next species I'd like to show you is Blaberus atropos. At first, I'd like to show you side by side, just a comparison to see the size. So as you can see, here is the chronifer. And here is the Blaberus atropos. So you can see that the size difference is substantial. So basically, atropos is about half the size of the chronifer. I think they are even more prolific than the death's head roaches. Okay, so they are really, really pretty as well. They breathe extremely fast. They smell exactly the same as death's head roaches. I have quite a lot of them. So here are the nymphs. They are a bit darker, so it's easy to tell the difference with the nymphs as well. They are more elongated. They are dark brown without any lighter patches. And as you can see, the adults are quite small compared to death's head roaches. They also like to, stay in the substrate. They do hide a lot. And they are really pretty. I think they look exactly the same as death's head roaches, just they are tiny. I really love them. At first I was really surprised because I didn't know these guys are this small. Just look how tiny these cockroaches. Of course, compared to the death's head or the giant cave roaches. Just look at this tiny baby. They are just lovely. I really, really adore them. I'm so happy that I got them. These guys and the colosseus that I'm going to show you are from Martin, and but I didn't realize that they are going to be this small, and I was really surprised when I first opened the box. So as you can see, the care is pretty similar. I should give them more substrate, but I only had a few individuals when I put them in this box, but they breed really fast. I think even faster than the death's head roaches. So for feeder insect, these guys are awesome, amazing, and they're pretty, just as the death's head roaches. Here are my Blaberus colosseus roaches. Unfortunately, I don't have any adults. Here are the nymphs. They are really pretty. As you can see, they have these yellowish like triangles on them, so they are even prettier than other Blaberus nymphs. And with this species, I found that the good substrate is extremely important, because unfortunately I can't show you because I don't have any adults, but with these roaches, even the adults with their big wings, they were always hiding in the substrate. So I had some vertical wood pieces in here and they never ever used them. They were always hiding in the substrate, right along the nymphs. And yeah, this is one thing I also don't recommend isopods with these guys, because they just ate all the substrate that I had in here. But I'm really happy with this second generation. I'm sure they are also from Martin, and I'm going to buy more roaches from him, because I messed up the substrate at the beginning when I just got these guys. I didn't have, it wasn't thick enough for the adults to hide, and I lost most of them. So I ordered 10 roaches from Martin, and only a pair made it to adulthood. So all of these nymphs that I have here are from one female and one male, of course. So from one set of parents. They are doing really well, growing pretty fast. Compared to the giant cave roaches, compared to Blaberus giganteus, but they've got still a long time to go. And I'm going to grab the unfortunately dead adult from the freezer for you in a minute. Okay, so here is the dead male, as you can see. The nymphs already chewed him up a bit when I noticed that he unfortunately passed away. The female was a bit larger, but not substantially larger. And Blaberus colosseus is one of those species where there's also a big size difference between localities. And yeah, they aren't that big as I was hoping for, but they are still quite big compared to atropos. The female was larger, but when I have more individuals of this species growing up, I will definitely show you. And as I mentioned, I'm trying to get colosseus from another source as well, and getting more localities. But the care is exactly the same, but I think they are a bit pickier about the substrate, and they really need a place to hide. And here is finally the comparison. The biggest one is Blaberus giganteus, the middle-sized one is Blaberus cranifera, and the tiny one is Blaberus atropos. And here is colosseus. I'm putting it here. I'm putting the little dead guy in there. So as you can see, colosseus is bigger than cranifera, but smaller than giganteus. And what I told you about their time to mature and their life cycle holds true for these four species. Atropos is the most prolific one, then cranifera, then I noticed that colosseus grew substantially faster than giganteus. I care for them exactly the same way, and I think the pickiest of the bunch for me was colosseus, because as I told you, I messed up the substrate and I had a significant die-off with my initial adults, but this is just my second generation, the nymphs I've showed you. So I'm really hoping to be more successful in the future. I'm going to, rebuild this colony from more individuals from Martin, from the same stock, from the same strain, not mixing anything up, and I'm I'm also going to hopefully buy some more Blaberus from Germany when the weather gets better. And of course, they are my second favorite, apart from Sagana, Panestia, and all the wood-eating roaches. So I'm going to try to collect them all. And when I have more roaches, we are going to do another comparison so you can see the differences. But what I found that the taxonomy and labeling of these roaches is incredibly messy. So if you sell any of these roaches, it is really important to let the buyer know what is this thing that you're selling, because as you can see, they are really similar. All of these 4 roaches, at least 3 of them, I think colosseus is the most like the easiest to distinguish, because the pronotum is shaped a bit differently, the markings are different, and their wing is just the uniform solid brown color. But all these 3, they look pretty similar to one another, even giganteus and conifer. As far as the giganteus go, they are from a pure stock, they are not hybrids, that's 100% sure. I know people keep asking this, because supposedly there are hybrids out there. They are from the Budapest Zoo, stock, blind, whatever. So I know the people who care for these roaches in the zoo are professionals, and they would never ever mix things up or mislabel them or mix different colonies. They are really, well, experts. So they are pure. These death's heads they are from just a pet store in Hungary, so they might be anything, they could be anything. And the atropos and the colosseus are from Martin, whose details will be down below, or if you ever see his ads in the groups, you should know that he really sends you roaches if you send him money. So he is a person that you can actually trust and get roaches from. So this concludes our little review. Thank you so much for your attention. I really hope I could show you something interesting or useful. Please let me know which Blaberus is your favorite. Do you have different ones? I would really love to learn about other people's experiences, especially in different countries, because, you know, it is crazy for me to imagine that some people actually live in the countries where these roaches live, and they can go out and get these roaches. It must be amazing to see them in the wild, because in Hungary we have roaches that are this this big, and in my many years of trying to collect them, I found only one one individual. So yeah, thank you so much for your attention, and see you in the next video. Bye.